Passport English Podcast.
Making English easy and fun.
Welcome back to Passport English. I'm your host, JT, and I am here with the wonderful Maddie. How are you doing today, Maddie?
Oh, I'm doing great, JT. I'm really excited about today's topic, you know? It's something I hear from students all the time. Like, literally every day.
That's right. Today, we're going to dive into 5 tips to speak English confidently. Confidence is, well, it's usually the biggest hurdle for learners. They have the vocabulary, they know the grammar, but when it's time to open their mouths, they just freeze.
Exactly. It's like your brain just goes totally blank. You study for hours, you know all the rules, and then someone says hello to you in a coffee shop, and you're just like, I don't know how to speak anymore.
Yes, we have all been there. It is a completely normal reaction. The brain is trying to process a second language under pressure. So today, we're going to give our listeners 5 practical ways to overcome that fear and sound completely natural.
I love that. Let's make everyone feel a bit braver today.
So, let's jump right into tip number 1. And this is probably the most important one. You need to embrace your mistakes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a tough one for a lot of people, you know? Nobody wants to look silly or say the wrong thing.
True, but think about it this way. Making mistakes is actually proof that you're trying. If you wait until your English is absolutely perfect before you start speaking, well, you're never going to speak. Communication is about conveying your message, not about being a perfect grammar machine.
That makes so much sense. I remember back on March 15th, I was traveling, and I tried to order a pastry in a bakery. I used completely the wrong word. I think I asked for a shoe instead of a cake, or something embarrassing like that. The baker looked so confused at first, but then he just pointed, and we figured it out. I got my cake, you know?
Exactly. You still got the cake. The mission was accomplished. Native speakers really don't care if you use the wrong preposition or if you mess up a verb tense. They just want to understand what you're trying to say. So, step 1 is to just accept that you will stumble, and that is totally fine.
Okay, I like that. Embrace the mistakes. So, what is tip number 2, JT?
Tip number 2 is to slow down your speaking pace.
Oh, really? But wait, don't native speakers talk really, really fast? I feel like if I speak slowly, I'll sound like a beginner.
That's a huge misconception. When learners get nervous, they try to rush. They think speed equals fluency. But when you speak too fast, you don't give yourself time to think, and you don't give the listener time to understand you. Even native speakers pause. They use filler words, and they take their time when they explain complex ideas.
You know, now that I think about it, that's so true. When I get nervous, my heart beats fast, and I just try to spit all the words out at once. It gets all tangled up in my mouth.
Right. So next time you're speaking English, take a deep breath. Slow your pace down by maybe 20%. You'll sound more thoughtful, more in control, and you will give your brain the extra fraction of a second it needs to find the right vocabulary word.
That is such a good tip. Take a breath, slow down. I feel calmer just thinking about it. All right, what's our third tip for building confidence?
Number 3 is a practice technique called shadowing.
Shadowing? Like following someone around in the dark?
Not quite. Shadowing is an imitation exercise. You listen to a native speaker, like on a podcast or a YouTube video, and you repeat what they say exactly as they say it, almost at the exact same time. You mimic their intonation, their rhythm, and their stress.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like singing along to your favorite song, but just with regular speaking?
That's a perfect analogy, Maddie. When you do this, you train the muscles in your mouth to produce English sounds naturally without having to think about grammar rules. You just get used to how the language physically feels. If you do this for just 10 or 15 minutes a day, your mouth will get so comfortable with English that the confidence will naturally follow.
I'm definitely going to try that. I'm going to shadow you, JT. I'll just repeat everything you say in my free time.
Well, I'm honored, but maybe pick someone with a more exciting life to shadow. Anyway, let's move on to tip number 4. Prepare your personal script.
A personal script? Like actors use?
Exactly. Think about the conversations you have most frequently. When you meet someone new, they almost always ask the exact same 3 or 4 questions. Where are you from? What do you do for work? Why are you learning English?
Oh, yeah. It's like the same small talk every single time.
Right. So you shouldn't be inventing those answers on the spot. Write down your answers, practice them, and make them sound completely natural. If you know exactly how to introduce yourself confidently, that first impression goes smoothly, and it boosts your confidence for the rest of the conversation.
That is so smart. If the first 5 minutes go well, you relax, right? You don't have to stress because you already know your lines.
Exactly. You don't need a script for everything. Just the predictable situations. Ordering food at a restaurant, checking into a hotel, or introducing yourself. Have those locked down.
Okay, so we have embrace mistakes, slow down, try shadowing, and prepare a personal script. We are ready for the final tip. JT, hit me with number 5.
Tip number 5 is to celebrate your small wins. Learning a language is a massive journey. If you only look at how far you still have to go, you will get discouraged. Sometimes reading textbooks all day can make you so exhausted.
Oh my gosh, yes. Staring at grammar exercises makes me want to take a nap. It feels like you're not making any progress at all.
Exactly. That is why you need to shift your mindset. Did you understand a joke in an English movie today? That is a win. Did you successfully ask for directions even if you made a grammar mistake? That is a huge win. Acknowledge those moments.
I love that. We are so hard on ourselves, you know? We focus on the one word we didn't know instead of the 50 words we used perfectly.
That's human nature, but we have to actively fight it. Confidence comes from realizing that you are successfully communicating in a completely different language. That's essentially a superpower. So give yourself some credit. All right, it's time for our vocabulary moment. Let's review 5 useful words and phrases we used in today's episode. Maddie, what's our first word?
The first phrase is to go blank. Earlier, I said when you try to speak English, your brain can just go totally blank.
Great phrase. To go blank means you suddenly cannot remember anything. Your mind is completely empty. For example, you might say, I studied for the exam, but when I looked at the paper, my mind went completely blank.
That is the worst feeling. Okay, our second word is hurdle. JT, you said that confidence is the biggest hurdle for learners.
Yes, a hurdle is a problem or difficulty that you must overcome to achieve something. Originally, it means a physical barrier that runners jump over in a race. So you could say, lack of vocabulary is a hurdle I need to overcome.
Love it. Word number 3 is convey. You said communication is about conveying your message.
To convey means to communicate or express an idea or feeling so that it is understood by other people. It's a slightly more formal way to say communicate. For example, she used hand gestures to convey her excitement.
Nice. All right. Phrase number 4 is tangled up. I mentioned that when I talk too fast, my words get all tangled up.
To get tangled up means to become twisted together in a confused mass. When we talk about speech, it means you stumble over your words and they don't come out clearly. You could say, the headphones in my pocket always get tangled up.
Ugh, yes. Every single time. And our final phrase, number 5, is on the spot. You said you shouldn't be inventing answers on the spot.
To do something on the spot means to do it immediately, without any planning or preparation. For example, the boss asked me a difficult question and I had to answer on the spot. So, let's do a quick recap of our 5 tips for speaking English confidently. Number 1, embrace your mistakes because they prove you are trying.
Number 2, slow your pace down. You do not need to speak at 100 miles per hour to sound fluent.
Number 3, try the shadowing technique to get your mouth comfortable with English sounds.
Number 4, prepare a personal script for common questions, so you don't have to think on the spot.
And number 5, celebrate your small wins and give yourself credit for your progress. Well, that is all the time we have for today's episode of Passport English. We hope these tips help you feel a bit more comfortable and a lot more confident.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and don't let fear stop you.
Beautifully said, Maddie. Have a great week, everyone. Keep exploring the world of English, and we will catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.